What's up, Crushers? How's it going? What's going on with you? I wish I had some horns, some confetti, some balloons, something, because it's my 1 year anniversary. My 1 year anniversary. It's been 1 year since I actually turned in my notice to my job. And on the 28th of this month, it'll be 1 year since I actually left. So when I turned in my notice, I actually did a video about that. So if you haven't checked that out, look at that one first. I think it's Stop Procrastinating on Your Goals, something like that. So check that one out first, because this video pretty much is just an update, a 1 year update, what's worked, what hasn't, and so forth. So for a lot of you who have been wanting to make changes in your life, trying to step out there, on faith, but you need some other things too, but step out there and work for yourself or just make some different changes in your life. I'm kind of going over what has happened to me. And first, I do want to apologize I apologize for the thunder and lightning. Apparently, it don't want to celebrate like me, but so if you hear that, I apologize. But I do want to apologize for not journaling more, taking more videos along the way of my first year. I'm sorry. I have done a lot of documentation, but just not in the form of video on YouTube. So, all right, so let's get to it. To answer the ultimate question, has it been worth it? Ultimately, absolutely. Absolutely. Has it been hard? Yes and no. So when I did my last video, I told you that, there are some things that you have to kind of put in place prior to leaving or to stepping out of employment, of that type of environment. And I had been working on my business prior to actually stepping out. But what was more important is that my husband and I actually did save money prior to me leaving my job. I can't stress to you enough how important that is, because have we had to use that money? Yes, 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 we have. When you step into a self-employed situation, your income is extremely fluctuating. You may do really well one month, and then the next month it's like, okay, hello, cricket, cricket. So having that backup helped us tremendously. Also, learning how to, which is something I'm still working on, and I'll get to that in a minute, learning how to take those good months and let it spread it out to cover those bad months. That's something I didn't quite do well at, and that's probably why I had to use more of my savings than I should have or wanted to, honestly. But nonetheless, whatever the situation is, I had to use some of it. So having that money there was a lifesaver. So I can't stress you enough, save some money prior to stepping out there. Another thing that's helped is having health insurance. It's expensive. It's expensive every month. I hear you. I know. But let me tell you, beyond just your routine physical stuff and, female stuff that you have to have done, or male stuff for my husband, I had to end up going to the emergency room with chest pain, and my blood pressure shot up way high, and I had some chest pain. So I had to end up going to the ER for evaluation, just to make sure I wasn't having a heart attack. I am of that age, so I had to make sure I was okay. If I did not have insurance, and long story short, it all worked out, but if I did not have insurance and had to pay that bill would have cost me about 10 grand. 10 grand. You don't know from day to day. And unfortunately, a lot of people will just ignore their symptoms, and just say, well, I'm not going to go to the hospital or the doctor because I just can't afford it. I'm glad I didn't. Thankfully, I was okay. I was not having a heart attack, but Nonetheless, because of having something in place, I was more apt to go to the doctor, to the hospital. So anyway, health insurance does take some of the ease off of you, because it's scary. Because one trip can knock you out, take you out the park, take you out the game. So have some things in place. Yes, I know it's expensive on a monthly basis, but it's something that you can budget in and allow money to go toward that every month versus being blindsided by 10, 20,000, 50,000, $100,000 medical bill. So health insurance is a must. And I did write down some notes here so I wouldn't forget. What also has been a plus for us this with this type of situation, with me being self-employed and my husband, is having our generational home, which I did mention in the video last year, but we actually bought a home with my family, and that helps tremendously because we're able to share expenses, not only mortgage, but the utilities, the maintenance on the house. We're able to split that within the family. Now, the house is big enough that we all have our own room and our own spaces, and we're not on top of each other. But it's still cheaper for us to do it this way than if we just went ahead and purchased our own place. I honestly, I don't think I could do self-employment and have, not right now, and be able to have our own home. So I'm enjoying this situation. It's fun. It's fun being with your family, and the days where we can kind of chill out together. So I've been enjoying it. So that has helped with the finances and being able to continue to do this. Um, if you are doing this, if you want to step out to be able to start your own business, this kind of pertains more to you. If you're trying to step out to start your own business, there are some things that I would highly, highly recommend besides what has already been mentioned. But work on personal development. Again, I mentioned this in the last video, but personal development is extremely important because you're going to have to know how to pull yourself up by the bootstraps when you don't feel like it. When you feel discouraged, when you feel like I made a mistake, I'm not cut out for this, you need to know how to counteract all those feelings, because those feelings are going to happen. They just are. Where you have self-doubt, where you're like, I don't know if I'm, who am I to think that I can employ myself? So you're going to have those moments. So personal development has definitely helped me. And there's a lot of books that I've had to go back and just reread, even though I read them. I've reread a couple of books. I listen to podcasts on business, on just self-improvement, just whatever you need to do to keep yourself in a good place, because our tendency naturally is going to go to the negative space, and you have to find a way to be able to keep yourself going. Another thing that I highly recommend if you're trying to step out and you want to start your own business: networking. Network, 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 network. People think it's old school. Oh, we got social media. And we do. And social media has been a great asset in my company. But that one-on-one, that get together with individuals and just have that conversation, and have you had a problem with in your business, and I can share what's been a problem for me, and you don't know who knows who. And just from talking to other people, I've met so many different individuals. I've met some celebrities, but just CEOs of big companies. So just kind of reaching out and talking, you just don't know where that will lead to. So networking to me is something in business that will never ever get old. Yes, it means you may have to get up, get dressed, and go to an event. And I've gone to several different events this year, over this past year, whether it's women conferences or business conferences or just small little networking groups where it's a local networking group. But it's imperative. So those are my two little tips if you're trying to step out and start your own business. Something else that I have found that has helped me is journaling along the way. I wanted to do a video journal, but vlogging, but I do actually journal in a physical notebook. So journaling along the way and seeing how far I've come, it trips me out sometimes because you have a starting point, and I talked about this in the last video where you have a starting point, but just working at it every day, every day, you really do pick up momentum. And I am so thankful when I do have those moments. When I get down, I look back at my journal, I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I was just in there trying to work on a website. Here I am doing all these other things. So just to be able to see the progress helps. So I recommend journaling. Things that I am still learning or have learned. There's been a couple of things. In the arena of kind of still learning, patience and self-discipline. My husband's here, and if he could pop his head out right now, he would. Patience and self-discipline. I can't accomplish everything I want to accomplish in one day. I thought I could. I really wanted to. I can't. You just can't. So I get so excited about something and I just, boom, go for it. And you have to learn patience. And the reason why is because of the fact that I, am self-employed and money is very questionable as far as when it comes in. My budgeting is completely different, which is probably another reason why we had to go into savings to help us through. You have to, I thought he was coming in, you cannot do everything at one time. So sometimes you have to learn, I really want this piece of equipment, or I really want to do this, but if it really isn't in your budget at this time, you may have to learn that you have to wait. And he's very good at that. My husband's excellent at that. I've seen this man want some equipment. He will use some raggedy equipment until he has saved his money up and he can go pay cash for it. Me, I try to use cash, but I've also used credit. So that was a mistake that I'm still learning. I'm still paying the cost of. And so I don't recommend you going that way. Be patient. Be patient. Let it evolve. It will, but let it evolve. Let's see, what else? Yeah, speaking of spend, you just can't spend the way you used to in your personal life. You can't spend the way you used to. I'm still waiting for him to come in. I'm spending money like, I work full time and have like 10 part-time jobs, Hey, Janine, we're going to dinner. Okay. Hey, you want to go on this cruise? Okay. Hey, we're doing it. All right. Yeah. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn that you can't do everything. You have a big vision. And the sacrifice along the way may be that you can't participate in all the things you used to participate in. You may have to forego them momentarily to be able to get to where you're trying to get to. And then it won't be an issue. Okay, you want to do this, you want to do that, let's do it. But that is something I am learning. And I'm still working on. Have not perfected it, but I am working on that. So learn from my mistake, okay? So those are some of the things I just wanted to share with you. My volunteer work, as I mentioned, I'm still doing and loving, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, honestly. And so I'm still here. Company's still running. As a matter of fact, it's Nature's Crush Handmade. If you don't know already, I do make bath and body products, and I probably should have did a nice introduction in the beginning, but I do make bath and body products, and if you want to go to naturescrushhandmade.com, you can check out some of the things I've been working on. But I wanted to give you guys an update. as to I haven't had to go back to work as of yet. I don't. My plan is not to, of course, but I'm not too proud. I'm not going to get to a point where we're homeless. So, but I have not had to go back to work. I am still going along. I have some really good opportunities, some very big opportunities that has been presented to me, and my husband's doing well with his. So we're moving along, y'all. So I just wanted to give you an update, say happy anniversary to myself, and I hope everything that you have been working on since my last video, you are making progress and doing well with it. If for any reason you watched my video and you tried to implement some things and you see progress, let me know. I'd love to hear. I know I don't have that many followers as of yet, but if you did, I would love to hear from you. And I thank you so much for listening to me again. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And take care.